My husband's family is the iron rice bowl family that everyone envy. Everyone is glamorous and respectable, but they treat me as a blood bag to suck blood. How can I tear this Phoenix man apart with my hands? Work adjustment. I need to drive to and from work, but my father-in-law occupied my car and refused to return it. My husband also said, "Why are you so vain? What's wrong with using a battery car to go to work?" So I turned around and sold the car. My husband pointed at my nose and scolded, "What right do you have to sell Dad's car?" I looked calm and sold the one you drove. At the dinner table, I told my husband's family about the company's personnel adjustment. I was promoted, but the work location has changed. The new address is an hour's drive from home. Dad, I need to take back your car. I drive the 2 cars brought as a dowry. Because it is close to work, I don't use it on weekdays, so the 2 cars are driven by my husband and father-in-law. My father-in-law was stunned, shook his head. "That won't work. How can I go to work without a car, Dad? Your unit is only 2 kilometers away from home. The bus goes directly. It's very convenient. It's a joke that I am a director. You let me take the bus to work. I can't afford to lose face." I couldn't help but laugh at that man. Before I got married, didn't he also take the bus to work? It's really easy to go from frugality to luxury, but hard to go from luxury to frugality. My father-in-law used to take the bus to work, but after I got married, he drove a luxury car. The envious eyes of his colleagues made him vain and reluctant to give up that sense of superiority. The past was the past. Now I am old and can't stand the wind and rain. I have to drive to work. Okay, I turned to look at my husband Jang Yonyan. "What do you say?" Jang Yonyan lowered his head and avoided his eyes. "I bought you an electric car." I couldn't believe it. "You let me ride an electric car for 40 kilometers, going in the wind and rain every day." When my father-in-law saw that my husband didn't help me, he immediately became confident. "What's wrong with the electric car?" "I think the electric car is great. You can park anywhere without traffic jams." "Then why don't you ride an electric car?" Jang Yonyan yelled at me. "Li Jiai, what's your attitude? How do you talk to my dad?" I replied, "Yes, I don't have the right to take my car back." My father-in-law blushed and yelled louder than me, "What, yours? Mine? Since you married into our family, you are a member of our Jang family, and your dowry naturally belongs to our family." I widened my eyes in shock at my father-in-law's outrageous remarks. My husband's family is not well off. In order to make my life better in my husband's family, my parents gave me 2 cars, a house, and 5 million in cash as a dowry when I got married. But I didn't expect that less than a year after I got married, this family actually calculated my dowry. Thinking of this, I was furious. "You can also want a car. The purchase price of that car is 1.6 million, so it's mine. Give me 1.2 million and I will immediately transfer the car to you." My father-in-law slammed the table and said, "Who are you? I'm using my own car. Why should I give you money? The car is in my name, so what? No matter whose name is written on it, it belongs to my Jiang family. I'm the head of the family, and I can't use a car." My husband also chimed in. "Dad is right. He is the head of the family. What's wrong with using a car? Li Jai is not like that. I'm talking to you. You're too arrogant." "I'm not only arrogant but also vanity. Why didn't I see that you are such a vain person before? What's wrong with you riding an electric bike to work? If you want to say that, give me your bike." My father-in-law has been blocking me for years and I can't give it to him. Once you bow your head this time, he will suppress you in the future. I stared at Jang Yonyan's eyes. "Will you give it to me or not?" "Dad is right. Since you married into the family, the dowry belongs to the Jiang family. Of course, the good things should be given priority. Do men know the rules?" I was so angry that I laughed. I didn't want to talk nonsense with them anymore. I went back to the room to pack my luggage. My father-in-law was so angry that he trembled all over. "He didn't care about your wife for years. You just turned your face away to your elders. What kind of attitude do you have? Do you still have family education?" I dragged my luggage out of the door. "Pa, before you judge others, take a piss and look at yourself first. I don't know who has no family education." When Jang Yonyan saw me going out, he nervously grabbed my luggage and asked, "Where are you going?" I snatched the luggage and kicked him on the knee. "Get out of here if you want to." Actually, I originally wanted to tell them that I would be on a business trip these few days. This time I was on the business trip. The last job of this position is that after the business trip, I will have a branch manager as the regional director of the head office. But now it seems that I don't need to tell them. I finally understand that they don't care about me at all. They only care about the money in my pocket. After Jang Yonyan and I started dating in college, he was obedient to me and treated me well with all his heart. His family conditions are ordinary, and my family is not rich, but it is well off. After graduation we talked about marriage and all my relatives opposed it. But I was the only one who was trapped in Jang Yonyan's sweet words and insisted on getting married. I remember my mother advised me at that time that your father and I didn't dislike the Jang family's poverty, but after getting to know them, we found that Jang's father was overbearing, Jang's mother was smiling but hiding a knife, and Jang Yonyan was filial. If you marry into such a family in the future, you will suffer for the rest of your life. How could I, who was annoyed by love, listen to my mother's advice? Instead, I told my mother that he was arrogant and looked down on people. After getting married, I realized how vicious my mother's vision was. All of what he said was verified after marriage, and the man who swore before marriage that he would always stand by my side and protect me for the rest of my life, after marriage, only said what his father said was right and what his mother said was right, and would never defend me, and even scolded me for being vain, arrogant, rude and unruly. In their eyes, the so-called man is the master of the family, and women are his vassals. Men's decisions cannot be argued, and men's dignity cannot be challenged. This is the biggest rule of a family. Looking at the rolling traffic outside the window, my chest ached and stuffy, regret grew and spread in my heart, and tears could not help but roll down. During the few days I was on a business trip, I completely understood this relationship, and my love brain was completely awake at that moment. I planned to end this marriage after I went back. But I didn't know that when I went back, everything had turned upside down. After getting off the plane, I didn't even put down my luggage and went to the company to report on the business trip. After listening to the report, the general manager hesitated to speak. His eyes flickered for a long time, and then he said, "Manager Lee, about your work, the transfer is cancelled." I am shocked. The transfer documents have been issued. How can it be changed at will? What is the reason for the cancellation? I asked the company to give an explanation. The general manager sighed and said, "Jai, you are fully capable of that position, but you are still burdened by your family." "What do you mean by this, general manager?" "Go back and ask your husband." I suddenly felt that the situation was not good. I went to the office and immediately asked my colleague about the situation. My colleague shook his head and sighed, took out his mobile phone and clicked on the video. In the video, the father-in-law brought the mother-in-law to the company. As soon as she entered the door, the mother-in-law cried and rolled on the ground. The father-in-law went to the general manager's office and slammed the table, pointing at the general manager's nose and scolding. "Do you leaders have any humanity? You transferred a married employee who is preparing to get pregnant to work 40 kilometers away, and let the employee go through wind and rain. Where is the humanized management of your company?" Lee, the general manager, tried to explain to him, but the father-in-law didn't listen at all. His voice was as loud as a bell. "No need to explain. I know you deliberately bullied my daughter-in-law and sent her to the frontier. What a shitty company. I'm going to sue you." The mother-in-law rolled on the ground and threw a tantrum. "My poor daughter-in-law, how could you be bullied like this? A thin girl who commutes 40 kilometers to and from work. It's a sin." Facing the pointing and criticizing of the onlookers, the father-in-law and the mother-in-law not only had no sense of shame, but became more and more excited. "No matter what your reason is, cancel the transfer for me, or I will go to the labor bureau to sue you." In the video, the father-in-law and the mother-in-law were like a pair of clowns. They didn't care about the eyes of the public. They rolled around in the company and made unreasonable troubles. My face turned red and I couldn't say a word. A sense of shame went from the soles of my feet to the top of my head. My colleagues looked at my face cautiously. Not only did they make a fuss here, they also went to the head office to make a fuss. The phone trembled in my palm. I was angry and ashamed, blushing. Facing my colleague was so ashamed that he canceled my job transfer. Which company can tolerate employees' family members coming to the door to make trouble like this? This promotion opportunity is very rare. I worked hard for a long time, went through interviews and passed one assessment after another. I finally got it. I was about to take office, but I didn't expect that my parents-in-law would make such a fuss, which ruined all my years of hard work. And they did all this just for a car. How ridiculous and ironic. I looked up and forced the tears back into my eyes, walked to the general manager's office, apologized to the general manager sincerely, then picked up the phone and called Jang Yonyan. "Jang Yonyan, did you know that your parents came to my company to make trouble?" Jang Yonyan paused on the other end until I broke down. "Did you know that bringing personal matters into the workplace is a taboo? Why didn't you stop?" Jang Yonyan's cold voice came. "I think they did the right thing. Say it again. Your company did not consider your actual situation and transferred you to such a far place you're not going to work. It will affect your family life. You're right not to go." I was simply stunned. "Jang Yonyan, do you know that this is not a lateral transfer? It's a promotion. How long have I worked hard to get this opportunity? Your crappy company. It doesn't matter whether I get a promotion or not. I really don't know what you care about. You're married now. You should shift your focus to your family, prepare for pregnancy. Having a son is your biggest goal at this stage." My heart sank a little bit. It turns out that in Jang Yonyan's eyes, the value of a woman is just to give birth to children. A person's career can be sacrificed at any time in front of the family. I didn't expect it. "Jang Yonyan, it's 2025. I can still hear a master student say such futile remarks." "Stop it, Jai. Go home and apologize to dad. You keep making trouble. The family is not at peace. How can I work with peace of mind?" I hung up the phone and apologized. "The joke is that you ruined my future. You want me to keep quiet. You look down on me too much. I went straight to a public unit. You came to my company to make trouble and I couldn't swallow this if I didn't fight back. I saw my car in the parking lot and parked it steadily in the space. I went over with a fire extinguisher and started smashing the car window." "Stop. Why are you smashing Director Zhang's car?" The security guard came to stop me. I smiled at the security guard and said, "Brother security guard, this is not your Director Zhang's car. This is my car." I reached into the broken car window, drove out and took out the driving license from the car. "This is my driving license. Please check your ID card." The security guard carefully compared my face and it was really your car. "Yes, your Director Zhang is occupying my car and won't let go." I had no choice but to use this method to get my car back. The security guard had a look of having eaten a big melon on his face and called Director Zhang. I shook my hands and said, "If you don't need the car, I'll drive away first. Please tell Director Zhang for me to have some shame in the future. This time I'm just retrieving it. It will be embarrassing if we go to the police station next time." After that, I started the car with my fingerprint and drove straight to the used car market. As soon as I thought about it, when my father-in-law got off work and found that the car had been sold, he looked furious and I felt happy. Needless to say, I believed that soon, the security guard's behavior of not returning the public car would soon spread throughout their company and become a laughingstock among colleagues. Sure enough, when it was time to get off work, I always hung up when I received a call from my father-in-law. Not long after, Jang Yonyan called me. As soon as he opened his mouth, he started to blame me. "You drove away Dad's car. Drive it back to me quickly. Dad is waiting in the parking lot. Let him wait. I have already sold the car." Jang Yonyan was shocked. "Sold it? Why did you sell Dad's car?" I was calm. "Jang Yonyan, you get it clear to me. That's my car. Why didn't you discuss it with me when you sold it? Do you still treat me as your husband? I can't say sell the horse and walk the dog, drive the car back. Dad is still waiting." I laughed out loud. "Why should I discuss it with you when I want to buy or sell my car? I tell you the car can't be driven back. Let your dad wait if he wants to. Lee Jai, don't go too far. Give the car back to you. Quickly drive it back and apologize to dad. I can still forgive you. It's already sold. How can I drive it back? Oh yes, by the way, I forgot to tell you, I also sold the one you drove. I directly hung up the phone. I used the same method to sell the one Jiang Yonyan drove. It's a pity that I couldn't see it. Jiang Yonyan's expression must have been very interesting. A few days later, I met Jiang Yonyan at the entrance of the company. He stared at my new car. I bought a new car with my own money, and you have no right to interfere. I directly used the money for 2 cars to pick up one. The new car was the top-of-the-line version of Land Rover that Jiang Yonyan wanted most. He once hinted that I should add some money to replace the car he drove with a Land Rover, but I did not agree because I didn't think it was necessary, and this car became his obsession. Bai Yueguang kept looking at the new car when he was young, and the envy in his eyes was about to overflow from his eyes. When he thought that the car he had been thinking about was in my hands, he felt a sense of pleasure in his heart. He spoke to me, but his eyes were always on the car. Jai, I have been calm these days. I have thought about that incident. I was wrong. I apologize to you. I stared at him coldly and didn't believe his apology at all. The whole family celebrated Dad's birthday in the evening. I came here specially to pick you up to go with us. You still have the nerve to come to me. You are a daughter-in-law. If you don't attend the birthday party, it will give relatives and friends something to talk about. Can you please do me a favor? I nodded reluctantly. It was not that I really wanted to celebrate my father-in-law's birthday, but at the birthday party, I also wanted to announce something in public. Jiang Yonyan was overjoyed and quickly sat in the passenger seat. Along the way they were all looking at the accessories in the car, looking at this and touching that with envious eyes and a bit of regret. After parking the car at the door of the hotel, I met Jiang Yonyan. Sister Jiang Yonyan's family bought a new car again. Xia Lai from Shiba and Xunyan asked, "Is the car easy to drive?" I didn't even bother to look at this stingy and sharp-tongued elder sister-in-law. Seeing that I didn't say anything, Jiang Yonyan thought I had nothing to say, and actually put on an elder's manner to teach me a lesson. "Xunyan, you are in charge of your wife. Does your wife have any manners at all?" Jiang Yonyan didn't even say hello to his sister when he saw her. He spoke in a very high tone, attracting the attention of passers-by. He was even more proud. Everyone came to see that as a daughter-in-law, she actually sold her father-in-law and husband's cars to buy herself a luxury car. It was embarrassing. "Are you safe to drive this car?" Passers-by who didn't know the reason pointed at me with mockery in their eyes. Jiang Yonyan thought I was thin-skinned and would embarrass me like this, but he didn't expect that I didn't care about the eyes of strangers at all. I would rather shake my head a little after half a lifetime of hard work. He can't even get a car. He has weird skills. He might as well work hard to make some money. Some passers-by laughed out loud. Your eldest sister-in-law's face was flushed red. She pointed at me and couldn't say a word. She pushed open the door of the box and walked straight to the house. The relatives were already seated, and the father-in-law sat at the main table with a long face. We were about to sit down when we heard the father-in-law slap the table and said, "You guys still have the nerve to sit down." Jiang Yonyan and Jiang Yonyan trembled, lowered their heads and stood without saying a word. I pretended not to seeing the look on my father-in-law's face. I sat down on my own. My father-in-law slammed the table even louder. "Li Jai, didn't you hear me scolding you? Stand up right there." I looked around but I didn't move my butt. If your children are wrong, just scold them. What does it have to do with me? You forgot my birthday and you still say it's nothing. Of course I didn't forget it. My father-in-law's birthday is not today, but yesterday. The Jiang siblings never held a birthday party for my father-in-law before. After I got married, I reminded them to hold a birthday party for the first time. This year I deliberately didn't remind them, and sure enough the Jiang siblings forgot about it completely. It is said that my father-in-law was furious yesterday, so the 2 siblings hurriedly booked a hotel to make up for his birthday. Thinking of this, I calmly returned to my father-in-law. "You didn't educate your children well, they are unfilial, you should scold them but don't scold me." My father-in-law was about to speak, but my eldest sister-in-law interrupted me as a daughter-in-law. "Shouldn't you remember your father-in-law's birthday? You reminded us last year, why didn't you remind us this year? Today I have seen what it means to say thank you, and understand your worries. I reminded you with good intentions last year, but I didn't remind you this year, and you put the blame on me. It was your fault in the first place. If you had reminded me, would I have forgotten?" I just laughed out loud. "Why do you need me to remind you? Am I a memo?" Seeing that his father-in-law looked unfriendly, Jiang Yonyan whispered to Jai, "Dad is angry, say less." "Okay, I won't say anything, but I want to remind Dad that your children are Jiang Yonyan and Jiang Yonyan, not me, Li Jai. I have no obligation to celebrate your birthday. You can't say that. Jai, you are a daughter-in-law who married into the family. In a sense, we are a family. I have always treated you as my daughter." The mother-in-law smiled, but I felt sick. The mother-in-law, he is a smiling tiger. He is usually quiet and amiable on the surface, but he is actually scheming. When we got married, I was deceived by his appearance and listened to him in everything. Later I found out that he was using me, so I imitated him and smiled. "Oh, so you 2 elders treat me as your daughter. Then may I ask, when is the birthday of your daughter?" The mother-in-law was stuck. "Well, it's not that we can't remember because we are old, we just forgot." "Okay, I bought you a bag on your birthday last year, a watch on my father-in-law's birthday, and a set of La Mer on Jiang Yonyan's birthday. I even gave red envelopes to his children on their birthdays. Who of you gave me a birthday present?" After saying this, the 3 people were speechless. I remember everyone's birthday in the family and gave gifts to everyone. I celebrated it well for them, but when it came to my birthday, everyone pretended not to know. That was when I realized that the husband's family is not your own family. No matter how much you give, they will take it for granted, and they cannot see your needs because they don't have you in their hearts at all. The mother-in-law smiled and tried to smooth things over. Last year, it was the rag who apologized to mom. This year I will definitely celebrate it well for you. My dear daughter-in-law, you are magnanimous. Don't bother with us two old people. I have been fooled by the mother-in-law too many times. This time I will definitely not be fooled by her few words again. I drank a sip of tea calmly. People say that a mother is kind and a son is filial. That means a mother must be kind and a son is filial. Your children are not filial. Why don't you two elders reflect on yourselves and see if you have been kind enough? Upon hearing this, the father-in-law, the table was slammed even louder. Li Jai, are you here to cause trouble on purpose? Get out of here. I stood up immediately. If your son hadn't begged me to come, do you think I would be willing to come? You told me to get out of here. You can sign the divorce agreement now. I will throw the divorce agreement to Jiang Yonyan. After I sign it, I will consciously get out of here. That's why I came here today despite my unhappiness. I want to divorce Jiang Yonyan in front of everyone. The scene was silent for a while. The Jiang family gathered together and looked at the divorce agreement for a while. Mother-in-law Zhang Yunwan was the first to scream. I disagree. I knew why my mother-in-law disagreed. Because I had clearly specified the division of property in the divorce agreement. When I got married, the dowry house and cash belonged to me, and the other property was divided equally between us. In fact, this over the years, most of Jiang Yonyan's salary has been used to support the two elders, and there is not much property left after marriage. My father-in-law slammed the table and said, "Divorce is fine, but you can't take any money with you. I don't want to bother with these scoundrels. I have consulted a lawyer. The dowry is premarital property. Whether you agree or not, I will take it away." I paused, turned to my elder sister-in-law and asked, "Please give me back the house you live in, Yonyan, and move out immediately." Yonyan screamed, "Why? This is my Jiang family's house. It was agreed to be given to me. I won't move out because the house is written in my name, and the diamond ring was agreed to be given to you to live in. You also graduated from college, so you should know what a diamond ring means." Before the marriage, my mother-in-law came to my house to propose marriage in person. When discussing with my parents, I kept mentioning that my family was poor and couldn't afford a dowry or a wedding house, but they would treat me as their daughter and would never let me suffer any grievances after marriage. Although my parents were dissatisfied, they could not resist my love-brain determination to get married. In desperation, they bought me a house in the city center as a wedding house. I was looking forward to spending time with Jiang Yonyan as a couple, but the day after the wedding, my mother-in-law told me earnestly that my eldest sister-in-law and her family of 3 lived with them, so it would be convenient for me to ask. My mother-in-law suggested that the house be temporarily lent to my eldest sister-in-law, and my husband and I would live with my parents-in-law. I still remember her holding my hand and saying with a smile on her face, "Jai, your brother-in-law is incompetent and can't afford to buy a house. After all, your sister is married. My daughter, if a family of 3 lives in your parents' home, people will laugh at you. But it's different for you. You are my daughter. How can I bear to let you live outside?" Seeing that I didn't say anything, she said that both of you young couple have to go to work. If you live outside, there will be no one to help with cooking and housework. It would be better for you to live with your parents. Wouldn't it be better for your mother to take care of you? But my house is new. What does it matter whether it is new or not? You see, our house is close to your unit. It is very convenient for you to walk to and from work. If you dislike the old decoration, we can redecorate it according to your preferences. Of course, I will pay for the decoration. At that time, I was still immersed in the happiness of marrying the person I loved. Although I felt a little wronged, I still foolishly agreed. I didn't realize that the Jiang family was lying on me and sucking blood. Jiang Yonyan held my Jai. "There is no need to make such a big fuss, it's just a car, a birthday. Is it necessary to get to the point of divorce?" I threw Jiang Yonyan and stared into his eyes. "This marriage must be divorced." Father-in-law stood up and divorced. "I don't believe that anything that has entered my Jiang family can be taken away by someone else." I thought of something. God is a ghost, picked up the phone too. Checked the bank account, saw the balance display. My hands could not help shaking. The 5 million dowry in the account was missing. No wonder my father-in-law would say that. It turned out that they had prepared and transferred the money away during the time I lived in my mother's house. Needless to say, it must be Jiang Yongyan, because only he knows my bank card password. I clenched my hands, machine trembling all over. "Jiang Yongyan, you transferred my money." Jiang Yongyan's eyes flickered. Dad said that the stock market is good during this period. I put my money in the stock market, and money can make money. I felt powerless. My dad said, my mom said, my sister said, "Jiang Yongyan, are you an adult? Can you have some thoughts of your own?" Jiang Yongyan pointed at my nose and said, "What's wrong with Nyan listening to us, Li Jai? I warn you, you are here to sow discord among our Jiang family members. I limit you to sell the stocks before tomorrow and transfer all the money back to my bank card, otherwise I will call the police." Jiang Yongyan lowered his head and said nothing. My father-in-law began to act like a rogue. "Your money is Nyan Yan's money, and Nyan Yan's money is the Jiang family's money. The police can't do anything about it. I tell you, if you want a divorce, yes, you can't get a penny from the Jiang family." I clenched my fists and looked at this complacent family. They were domineering and scoundrels. I wanted to roar in anger and jump on them to fight, but I knew it was useless. They were like a ball of cotton. No matter what means you use, they will not respond. Once the money is in their pockets, it is as difficult as climbing to the sky to take it back. But I was unwilling to accept it. They bullied me, humiliated me, and schemed against me. They sucked my blood like an indelible leech. How could I be willing to fall here? At that moment, countless thoughts turned around in my mind. There was a plan in my mind. I gritted my teeth and stood up, looking at everyone. "Don't be complacent and just wait and see." In their mocking smiles, I straightened up and left to transfer the money to my family. I was so naive. A few days later, I took people to the house in the city center and took over the childhood residence. I knocked on the door but no one answered. I tried to open the combination lock. Sure enough, my fingerprint was deleted and the password was changed. So I took the real estate certificate and said loudly to the community comrades, the property comrades, this is my house, do you want to check the real estate certificate again? The property and community grid workers present checked my real estate certificate again, and then nodded silently. So, with the witness of the community and the property, I waved my hand and shouted to unlock the door. The locksmith came out of the crowd and started to unlock the door without saying a word. A few minutes later, the lock was opened, and the scene inside the door stunned everyone outside the door. A white-haired old woman was sitting in the porch, and sitting in the room was a man with a gray hair. There were people lying on the floor. When the door opened, my mother-in-law sat on the sofa and screamed loudly at me. I live in this house and will not step out of this door. I wonder who can drive us away. The property management took a deep breath and could not help but comment, how shameless. I sneered. This family has no bottom line. You have never seen anything more shameless. There was an old man sitting at the entrance. Everyone was afraid of being blackmailed, so no one dared to step into the door. The father-in-law raised his head and provoked Li Jai. Aren't you very capable? Come on if you have the ability. If you don't, get out of here as soon as possible. Jiang Yonyan put the baby at the entrance, and the old and the young blocked the door. I live in this house, what can you do? I was too lazy to argue with them, so I said to the crowd, let's get started. Several big men I hired from the moving company walked out. The crowd, without touching the old man, directly lifted the old man's chair, and moved him and the chair out, and then used the same method to move the child out. When the young boy saw this, he wanted to come up and pull the child out crying for his parents, but was carried out by several big men. A group of people entered the house in a mighty manner, and under the full video recording of the property management, they moved all the people sitting on the chairs, on the sofas, and on the beds, including the people and their belongings. Seeing this, the mother-in-law lay directly on the ground and said, you bunch of robbers and bandits, I will not go out. If you dare to touch me, I will hit my head and die. What should Ms. Li do here? Faced with the mother-in-law lying on the ground and acting like a rogue, she was afraid of being blackmailed by her, so she didn't dare to touch her, but she couldn't be carried away if she didn't touch her. For a moment, the big men from the moving company were at a loss. The mother-in-law, the way he acted like a rogue on the ground reminded me of the time when he acted like a rogue in my company and cut off my hope of promotion. At that moment, anger rose in my heart, and I didn't know where I got the strength from. I grabbed his arm and tried to pull him up, and this pulling him fell into his trap. He immediately cried out, ouch, ouch, it hurts. He broke my hand. Li Jai hurt me on purpose. You want to call the police, right? Okay, I was just about to tell the police that your son had debited money from my account without my consent, but my mother-in-law immediately shut up when she heard it. I took the opportunity to shout to the door to come in. 2 doctors in white coats immediately came in with a stretcher. We worked together to lift my mother-in-law onto the stretcher. My mother-in-law continued to struggle and yelled at me that I would not get on the stretcher, and that you were kidnapping me. Li Jai, I will sue you until you go bankrupt. Mother-in-law, you said I broke your hand, I was worried, so I asked the doctor to carry you away to the hospital for a checkup. I can walk by myself, don't carry me, let me go, be careful, don't move, how can I feel at ease if you walk by yourself, don't worry, I found the best private hospital in the city for you, you can check it slowly, if there is any problem with your hand, Li Jai will be responsible to the end, if there is no problem, I will sue you for blackmail, Li Jai, you are so cruel, let me go, I won't go to the hospital, I won't go to the hospital. The voice of mother-in-law is getting farther and farther away, even if you drive everyone away, don't think of driving me away, I will die in this room. The loud voice of father-in-law came. It turned out that he was holding the pillar and refused to let go. I looked at the people in the room. After cleaning, only my father-in-law was left. I walked up and raised my chin towards the property recorder. Father-in-law, you are the director. It will not look good if this gets out. I don't care that this is my Jiang family's house. What's wrong with me protecting my own house? Don't try to drive me away. I will not leave this house today. Old Jiang, please don't embarrass yourself. My father-in-law was shocked when he heard the voice. When he looked at the voice, a well-dressed old man came out. He was specially invited by me, and was my best colleague with my father-in-law. The matter of you occupying my wife's car has been spread all over the unit, and has become a laughingstock of the whole unit. Do you still want to occupy my wife's house and create more jokes? My father-in-law hugged the pillar and lowered his head without saying a word. You are about to retire. The company intends to promote you to a higher level, and you can enjoy a higher level of treatment after retirement. If you keep making trouble, let alone promotion, it will be a problem whether you can retire normally. The old man spoke sincerely, and my father-in-law was obviously relieved, but he was still hesitant and didn't let go. I said lightly, this house is mine. I can clear you all out. I also paid for the decoration of the house. Father-in-law, don't you go back to see how the house is? My father-in-law suddenly thought of something, and regardless of the house here, he roared and rushed home. After everyone was cleared out, under the witness of the notary, I asked the moving company to move all the childhood belongings out. I opened the window, looking at the spacious and bright house. I felt refreshed. But this was the beginning. What I had to do was far from over. When we arrived at my parents-in-law's house, I saw my father-in-law and husband sitting there in a daze, and my mother-in-law and Jiang Yonyan were lying on the ground crying. I called the decoration team, and while we were cleaning the dowry room, we knocked down the decoration of my parents-in-law's house. Li Jai, you are too much. What right do you have to touch my house? What do you mean by, just because I spent money on the decoration, I paid for the decoration, even if it's broken I won't give it to you? This bloody recast, the decoration team, hammered the Zhang family's heart with every hammer. In front of them, hard and soft decoration, even home appliances, pots and pans, as long as they were purchased with my money, nothing will be kept, all smashed, waste and sin. Li Jai, you will go to hell. The mother-in-law collapsed and shouted, lying on the ground crying, I'm not afraid of going to hell, I'm afraid that you won't go to hell. After saying that, I walked up to Zhang Yonyan. Give me back the 5 million. Zhang Yonyan lowered his head and lost all his money in the stock market. You are kidding me, I have checked and you didn't invest the money in the stock market at all. My father-in-law pushed me to the ground and said, it doesn't matter if I didn't invest in the stock market. The money is in my account. You are so capable of taking the house but not the money. If you have the guts, take the money away and I will respect you. Zhang Qiuhua, you won't cry until you see the coffin, right? You can try. Okay, Li Jai will wait here and see how long you can hold on. I stopped talking to them and sat down cross-legged with my eyes closed. I'm out. The unexpected move made the Zhang family dumbfounded. They didn't understand what I was up to, only I knew. After I waited for 2 hours, Zhang Yonyan's cell phone rang. I watched his face turn from red to white, and from white to blue when he answered the phone. It was so exciting. After he hung up the phone, he walked straight towards me with tears on his face. Li Jai, are you still a human being? You brought a child to threaten me. Don't make random accusations. I didn't threaten you. The decision is in your hands. The other 3 people in the Zhang family were shocked when they saw this and surrounded me. Zhang Yonyan asked what was going on, whose call it was, and what happened. Zhang Yonyan threw the phone away and threw herself into her mother-in-law's arms. Mom. She wanted to transfer Hao to a school in the mountainous area of another province. What should I do, Mom? Zhang Yonyan rushed over and grabbed my hand. What did you do? I blinked and said I didn't do anything. Since you let me be Hao's guardian, I have the right to transfer him to another school. I have already communicated with the school, and he can be transferred there at the end of the semester. My house is the best school district house in the city center. In order to let his son Hao go to a good school, Zhang Yonyan registered me as Hao's guardian without my knowledge and used my house to enroll the child in school. If it weren't for this house-taking incident, I still don't know that my school district house was occupied by Zhang Yonyan and I became Hao's guardian inexplicably. Since they are shameless, then I will be more shameless than them. I used my guardian status to contact the school and apply to transfer Hao to a primary school in a poor mountainous area in another province. The Zhang family was completely dumbfounded. Hao was the treasure they held in their hands. How could they bear to let Hao suffer? Moreover, how could the teaching quality in poor mountainous areas be compared with that in developed areas? My operation was equivalent to destroying their future. Li Jai, you have ruined my son's life. I will fight you. Zhang Yonyan rushed over to hit me, but was stopped by the eldest brother I brought with me. Even the eldest brother from the moving company couldn't stand it and couldn't help but speak out. His voice was like a loud bell. He drove someone else's car, lived in someone else's house, occupied someone else's school status, occupied someone else's money and didn't pay it back, and even called them inhuman. It's really, I have never seen such a shameless family. A few words made Zhang Yonyan's face flush. He walked up to me and pleaded in a low voice that we adults should not affect the child. Hao is the darling of his parents. If something happens, how can they live? I am also the darling of my parents. My parents would rather die than live if you bully me like this. Suddenly, his face was full of tears. Zhang Yonyan, have you forgotten what you promised my parents when you married me? How did you promise them to take care of me for a lifetime and not let me suffer any grievances? Zhang Yonyan lowered his head. It's me who is sorry for you. I raised my head and wiped away my tears. No, Zhang Yonyan, you don't feel sorry for me, but now that Hao is involved, you have to bow to me. I threw the divorce agreement at his feet and signed it. He transferred the money. I would naturally cancel Hao's guardian status. As for where the child will go to school in the future, it depends on you. It's easy to transfer out of a good school but difficult to transfer in. Once Hao transfers out, it will be as difficult as climbing to the sky to transfer back in. Besides, they no longer have a school district, so they can only find a school nearby. He can enroll in an ordinary school, but it is better than going to a poor mountainous area in another province. Yonyan cannot be transferred to him. Even if you want to make money, you can only make half. This is the common property of you and your wife, and you also have half. My father-in-law spoke out to stop him. I didn't expect that my money-obsessed father-in-law still wants to take half of it. So shameless. Dad's eyes were red for Yonyan. If I don't give it back to him, what should I do with Hao? Can you really bear to let Hao go to study in the mountains? You can't get 5 million, you must take half. Don't worry about Hao, I have a way. There is no way to transfer Hao out. I burst out laughing when I heard it. Zhang Qiuhua, you are too clever for your own good. Guess what I found out when I found out that I was Hao's guardian? Why did I become Hao's guardian without knowing it? Zhang Qiuhua's eyes flickered and he avoided the question. How should I know? Why did you have a way to transfer Hao out? Then is there any way to transfer him to my name? I have already checked it out. It was my father-in-law who took advantage of his position to manipulate things behind the scenes, which made Hao's guardian so. Unknowingly, he entered the student record of my house. Li Jai, please don't slander me. We will know whether I am slandering you soon. Zhang Qiuhua, I heard that your unit has a promotion for you and wants you to retire with a senior position, right? Zhang Qiuhua stiffened his neck and blushed. I have dedicated my whole life to the unit. Isn't it my duty to be promoted? Don't even think about it this time. I'm not afraid to tell you that your way to promotion has been blocked by me. He blocked my way at the beginning, and now I will fight back and make it impossible for him to get promoted. Zhang Qiuhua looked nervous. What do you mean? Literally, I have submitted the evidence of you helping Hao to manipulate the secrets to the disciplinary inspection department of your unit. If nothing unexpected happens, your unit will soon launch an investigation into you. My father-in-law's legs softened and he sat down on the ground. I continued, there is definitely no hope of arguing. As for whether you will be punished, you'd better wish you good luck. My father-in-law took a deep breath and almost fainted. His hand pointing at me kept shaking. You are so cruel, Jianhua. My mother-in-law and the Zhang brothers and sisters rushed over and cried loudly. Jianhua, give it to him. Give him whatever he wants, don't fight anymore. I really don't know what he will do, Dad. Forget it. If you go on like this, Hao will really go to the mountains. Zhang Qiuhua stared at me. His eyes seemed to swallow me up, but I was not afraid. I looked straight at him with a hint of sarcasm on the corner of his mouth. Zhang Qiuhua stared at him for a long time and finally lowered his eyes helplessly. I walked out of the door with the divorce agreement. There was a transfer text message from Zhang Yonyan on my phone. I dialed the number. Mom, I'm divorced. My mother's voice came through the phone. A gentle voice came. Come home for dinner. I held back my tears and nodded desperately. Mom made you your favorite chestnut roast chicken. I also want pepper and salt pork ribs, and your best braised pork. Okay, I'll ask your dad to bring us milk tea after get off work. Thank you, Mom. After hanging up the phone, I took a deep breath. Life is long. If you take the wrong path, it's never too late to turn back. I wiped the tears from my face and looked up to see the sun shining on my cheeks, fresh and warm. I smiled at the bright sunshine. The future is coming to me step by step. The whole text is over.